Parents lead the way. What this sentence means, how we can act thusly both for our benefit and our children's benefit, and where we can start if our own parents led us in a direction with their parenting that we do not want to take with our children. Parents lead the way. This does not mean that parents lead the way if they're effective. And if they're not effective, well, it's just a lost opportunity, but they're not leading the way. Actually, it means that for better or for worse, parents are leading the way. And here's how that works. When it comes to teaching our children behaviors and how to act, it's like we've got them on a rope train with a piece of rope in our hand, and we're leading them around the yard while they're tagging along, holding onto that rope. And as a result, if I tell them, hey, go check the mailbox, and if I then myself, however, go to the neighbor's house, they will be unable to check the mailbox because they're on that rope following me around. And what this does is creates an inner conflict because I'm saying one thing for them to do, doing another thing with my actions because, oh, I'm the dad. And then it creates an inner turmoil where they can't do either successfully, and I'm just setting them up for a very tough time one day when they're adults, and they need to come to grips with what they saw from my actions and what they heard from me and what they're going to do themselves. So parents, we lead the way. Now, this came to my mind today, and it became very blaringly obvious if I could do what I needed to do with my own sons if I want to act in a way to benefit all of us, when my boys got in a fight today. Now, it started, as so often it does, in a good-humored way. They were both laughing. And then I heard a resounding thonk, the way it does when someone's head is smacking into the floor. And then I instantly went into, first aid kit mode and going, who's injured? And I saw the one at the bottom was crying. And the one at the top was also starting to cry, like he was actually injured, and yet because of certain fighting tactics and patterns I'd seen from the one on top, I was not interested in that moment to give him my time of year. He was going, my brother punched me in the stomach. And I was going, gee, I wonder why that happened. And I told him, go to your room. And I started tending to the brother on the bottom. Now, after some time passed, I started going, I've been telling my sons consistently that if they do something wrong, then regardless as to whether the other person was also wrong, it behooves of them to take full ownership and apologize for what they did. And I realized that me taking the, oh, I'm the dad, I get out of jail free card because, whatever, wasn't going to help them or me. I went to my son in his room and I said, hey, I almost made a fatal flaw. I almost said apology, but, and therefore disregarding the apology. And I caught myself. I said, son, I didn't like the way you were roughhousing. I've been seeing that happen lately and I don't like it. And yet it was wrong of me to ignore that you were in pain. Better behavior from me would have been to correct you and yet acknowledge your pain, and I'm sorry. Now, if we don't like what we were shown by our own parents, two excellent books are The Intentional Father and The Power of Showing Up on Where to Start.